going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of JR Takes. And obviously, we did not have a reaction video over the game Saturday, but that's because we were too busy pretty much celebrating the 41-6 victory over the Niners last weekend. And
we honestly got too drunk to do any sort of good content. So it's probably for the best that we didn't do a reaction video.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been good content. But yeah, kicking their ass 41-6. I knew we would go into that game and win, quite frankly, but I didn't think it would be a blowout as it was.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we both kind of have this thing where we're just trying not to get ahead of ourselves on this team, even though we keep seeing signs that, like, yeah, they're actually really fucking good. But, I mean, when the 49ers went down George Kittle, you're like, realistically, what chance do they possibly have after they only got 3 points with him 2 weeks prior?
Mm-hmm.
And that chance was basically ripped from their souls on the first play of the game with the Shaheed kick return, which was incredible. That's got to be up there with, you know, the all-time great Seahawks playoff moments. And the image of the kicker coming up right here, tripping him, is just like, I feel like that just sums up the 49ers this season. Like, they're doing everything they physically can to get over the top, but it's not enough when you're just beat up and
that
undermatched.
That's the margin of victory we had in this game was the same as the Super Bowl.
Yeah, 35 points.
And it was kind of funny. We scored in, I think it was, there was actually 13 seconds left after the kickoff return, but we scored immediately in that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And pretty much didn't look back from there, and kind of looked the same in this game. We just, like, we're clearly on another level compared to the 49ers, and they didn't really look like they belonged on the same field as us. But they kind of looked like that 2 weeks ago when we beat them 13-3. We just didn't look as dominant because we didn't score as many points.
Yeah, but I honestly think that the difference is the home field advantage at Lumen in the playoffs is fucking real, especially when the team organizationally is like, hey, we're going to get rid of your season tickets if you sell them to opposing fans, which they came out and made a statement on that before this game. So Lumen Field was absolutely rocking. It felt like, I mean, obviously we weren't there, but just hearing it through the TV and seeing how it was affecting the huddles for the 49ers, like, it is legit really fucking hard to come into the stadium and win, no matter how good the Seahawks are in the playoffs, when that advantage is a real thing. And I saw a stat that all time the Seahawks are 13-4 at home in the playoffs. And that includes some Seahawks teams that, like, you know, in the mid-2000s that were not that good that made the playoffs with that record. And that also includes the COVID 2020 home playoff game against the Rams, where there was nobody in the crowd, and that whole season is just weird.
I don't really count that because there was no fans there. So, I mean, it was basically like playing at a neutral site.
Exactly. So, I think the advantage is real, and when the defense is as fucking legit as this Seahawks defense is, like, you got to come in there and play perfect.
Yeah, and the way that the Rams are coming in, I don't want to get too far into that game, but I do want to say, like, it reminds me so much of 2013.
Me too.
Because the two AFC teams, Patriots and Broncos, that year. It was the
same two in 2013.
Exact same two. And I just knew, like, all season that they weren't, like, on our level. We were just so far clear-cut and away superior than both of those teams on the defensive side of the ball that I didn't really care that Peyton Manning threw 50-something touchdowns and broke the record. I just still thought we were better, and then we just kicked their ass. But the Niner game before that, the NFC Championship game, was probably the most stressful football game I've ever watched.
Same.
And that was, like, definitely the hardest fought game. Like, the Packer game was a miracle, but the Niner game was like
It's one of the best games I've ever watched because that Niners team was this. It's really similar to this year where the Rams look like the second best team behind the Seahawks, and that year in 2013, the 49ers were definitely the biggest hurdle. And similarly in the playoffs, we were like, please just let them lose because then we'll have a cakewalk to the Super Bowl. And same thing happened where I think the 49ers got a couple close wins in the playoffs to sneak by through the wild card divisional round. Mm-hmm. Rams, easily could have lost both 2 games against the Panthers and last week to the Bears. Really feel like the Bears absolutely blew it against them. I think they outplayed them. Looked like the better team minus the turnovers, but here they are. Do you want to get into the matchup preview, or you want to talk a little more about the 49ers, or what are you thinking on this one?
Yeah, let's just go into the Rams preview, and then we'll talk about the other teams that lost and what we think of the matchup between New England and Denver.
Okay, well, just to kind of set the stage, this is already beyond my wildest expectations for the season coming into it in the offseason, just where we are right now.
I would agree.
Hosting the NFC Championship game after the most dominant game you've had in franchise history in the playoffs, tied with the Super Bowl, no one in the world predicted that would happen. So it is amazing that we are here. That being said, I feel like now that we're here, like we have to take advantage of this opportunity because given the AFC opponent is obviously going to be a lesser team than what we faced and what we are as a team, this is as good as opportunity to win the Super Bowl the Seahawks are ever going to have, frankly. I mean, not to be hyperbolic, but you don't get this miracle path of the 1 seed all that often. It's been 11 years. And, watching the playoffs, we all wanted to avoid the Rams, but I kind of always felt this was inevitable, that we would have to get through them one more time just because they were the only team in the conference this year that really felt like they could slow us down. So that old saying, to be the best, you got to beat the best, is really proven true here. That's what the Seahawks got to do. But the Seahawks haven't played in 8 days. They got an extra day of rest from playing on Saturday, and then before that they had a bye week. So they're coming in very well rested. They haven't had to travel since the previous 49er game. This Rams team, I believe, had to play now 4 straight road games, and they're barely sneaking by these games. They had to play 5 full quarters in, freezing weather in Chicago. Every outside of the X's and O's advantage is to the Seahawks with this matchup, just objectively.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. I feel like just going into this game, I mean, I know we had to win in the previous fashion through a kind of a miracle comeback. But, I mean, I just feel like as long as Sam Darnold doesn't turn the ball over, at all, and we kind of play, dare I say it, conservative, I feel like we're going to have the advantage on the Rams just because the Rams didn't light up the scoreboard against Chicago. Granted, it was cold as fuck. The weather is not going to be the same, obviously. But
it will be cold, though. I think mid-30s or something. So not comfortable weather by any means. But not Chicago winter.
I wouldn't be surprised, and quite frankly, I think it'll be a low-scoring affair. Kind of I don't know. I can't remember. What was the score of the first game we played?
21-19.
Okay, so I think it'll kind of be around there. Maybe under 44 points.
Honestly, think looking back at the last matchup with the Rams, it was on a Thursday night. Thursday night short weeks are inherently weird, know. And the Seahawks, I think 3/4 of the secondary was out in the second half and overtime. And Jaron Reed wasn't playing in that game. We didn't have Charles Cross. A bunch of guys were down, but specifically on the defense. And when they were much healthier in the first matchup, they held Matt Stafford to 120 yards. It was really just their inability to stop the run early on in that game kind of made us have to play catch up the rest of the game, and we just ran out of time.
Yeah. Well, and the 4 interceptions. That's the main thing.
Yeah. But since that first Rams game, they have completely shifted the way they want to run this offense, where we were already at the most a 50-50 run-pass split, but now they're truly a run-first team. And they're not just doing it for the sake of doing it like they were in the first 10, 12 games of the season. They're one of the best rushing teams in the league since week 10.
Isn't that crazy? Because, like, just, again, how fast things can change in the NFL. Because in the beginning of the year, we were like, why are we the highest volume run team, but we can't run the ball?
Yeah.
Like, to save our life. And now it's just completely, like, what we want it to be.
Mm-hmm. But I want people to remember that Kenneth Walker only got 11 touches the first time we played the Rams. Or, sorry, not the first time. The last time we played the Rams. And he got over 110 yards and 2 touchdowns, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's going to have to be our bell cow with Zach Charbonnet, unfortunately, tearing his ACL last week.
He tore his ACL.
Yeah, so he's not only out for the rest of the year, he's probably going to miss some of next year too, which that's going to change our off-season conversations around that position group for sure, but that's for later on down the road.
I like George Halani to come in the game and make some noise.
He was activated this week.
Yeah,
so.
off IR. I didn't even know he was injured. I just assumed he was on the practice squad.
I think he was put on IR because he did get banged up, but more so as a roster management thing, just to be able to get other guys on the active roster.
Yeah.
But regardless, yeah, he'll be playing, and he's looked really good whenever we've given him the ball.
I would just rather see him and take our chances there than run Cam Akers out there. I think every football fan knows what Cam Akers is and isn't if you've played fantasy football.
Well, what's crazy is, Cam Akers was playing on the Rams and was a huge problem for us last time we played them in the playoffs 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd think he's this really old player. I think he's only 25.
Well, I think he had really bad ankle injuries.
Yeah.
Early on in his career.
It kind of just derailed him.
I have a question for you here. So, running back, Kenneth Walker, and George Halani IR, Zach Charbonnet out, and Kenny McIntosh IR.
So the other guys are Cam Akers, as Jonah just mentioned, and then Velus Jones, who also, whenever he's gotten the ball, has looked pretty decent. I mean, it's been in garbage time.
He used to be on the Bears, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think he was a receiver initially.
He was, because he was like a return specialist as well.
Right. I frankly forgot we picked him up in the middle of the season, but now that's looking like an important move.
Yeah, I didn't know he was in the NFL still, and then we got him. I was like, oh, I know that name.
But getting into the Rams a little bit, obviously last time they played us, they put up 580 yards, 37 points. Stafford threw for over 400. Puka had 12 catches for over 220 yards. It was not a good defensive performance at all. However, ever since that game, the Rams have not been on that kind of clip offensively at all, regardless of who they've been playing. The opportunistic turnovers on defense are largely why they're even here, because I saw a stat that in this postseason so far, the quarterback with the lowest PFF grade under pressure is Matt Stafford, believe it or not. That's worse than CJ Stroud, and you saw how he played. We'll get more on him later, but I know he's probably going to win MVP, and maybe deservedly so this season, but they're not playing like that high-flying offense that they were a month and a half ago anymore. And it'd be a big trend change for them to get back to that in 1 week after playing a super long game in cold weather in Chicago.
I think that's why ultimately I'm not really as afraid of them as I was like for that Thursday night game a month ago, because they were playing good going into that game, and they haven't been playing like that. Not even close really since then. And I know they won 2 playoff games, but they should have lost to the Panthers, and they should have lost to Chicago. So I don't think you can keep playing the non-mistake free football that they've been playing and get by us. It's just not going to happen.
Well, and I also just think that the atmosphere for the NFC Championship at Lumen is going to be so insane. It is going to be a factor in a way that even that Thursday night game doesn't do justice to how crazy it's going to be.
It also bodes well for us that we're playing the Rams because, like, there's no Rams fans.
Yeah, this is true. But, yeah, ultimately, like, keys to the game, as you mentioned, Sam Darnold has to play a turnover-free game. We don't even need him to throw for more than 150 yards, as evidenced by how
120, apparently.
Yeah. We just need him to convert third downs and be efficient and take what's there when it's there, you know? And if that means throwing the ball out of bounds on 3rd and 6 and having to go for a field goal or punt, like, that's fine, you know?
No, that drives me crazy when he rolls out and gets sacked.
I know.
He could throw the ball away.
He has made some incredible plays doing that this year. Like, you know, last week, that touchdown to Njigba was fucking awesome. That was one of his best throws of the season. And it just drives me crazy that people still have this narrative around Sam Darnold that, oh, he's going to turn back into a pumpkin because it's like, are you watching the games? I don't think you are, because A, we're not asking him to drop back 45 fucking times like the Vikings were doing. And B, he played exactly the way we needed him to play last week. He didn't make any. There was the bad sack. I agree. That was his worst play of the game. But he converted multiple 3rd and longs. He converted a 2nd and 20, and he hit that touchdown to JSN. And all of those were huge plays in this game, where if he didn't make that play, the game could have theoretically been closer. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not as worried about Sam Darnold as a lot of other people seemingly are, just because I don't think a lot of people have been watching this team all year.
Yeah, and also, if Sam Darnold wins this game, he'll have a winning record in the playoffs already. So, like, that's why I get annoyed when everyone's like, Sam Darnold sucks in big games. He's played in one big game before this season. Like, that's a fucking stupid argument.
Yeah, and they act like we didn't have a primetime game against a then winning Commanders team and got off to a 38-0 start, and he completed every pass for like 400 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't watch this team.
Yeah, we looked like the 2009 Colts that game, just scoring at will, just throwing go routes and making it look easy.
And that's why I feel like, factoring in every facet of the game, if this team manages to win Sunday and manages to win 2 Sundays after that, become Super Bowl champions, I would comfortably, obviously it's a top 2 team of all time, but they're right up there with the LOB 2013 team in terms of just completeness. I think 2013 is always going to be number 1.
I think 2013 we had a more complete offense. Like, having Marshawn Lynch was such a safety blanket. I felt like.
Yeah, I just feel like this team has such a good mix of young players who are, and then that 2013 team did too. Guys like Red Bryant, they were veterans. Yeah. But the mix of veterans like DeMarcus Lawrence and Jerron Reed and Leonard Williams, and then all these guys on rookie contracts that are playing at all-pro level, it's perfect. And the Rashid Shaheed trade has seriously added another level to this team that it's an X factor in every game. It's a big reason why they beat the Rams in the second matchup with that punt return.
Yeah, he reminds me of a useful Percy Harvin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and a nice guy too, not like a dick who just all his teammates hate him and then he punches Golden Tate in the eye.
Yeah, he genuinely seems like a good guy as far as I can tell. Like, he was even laughing about the kicker trying to trip him.
Oh
he
yeah,
was like,
I saw that.
Just hit me. That's crazy. Yeah. So we could go through the stats. There's a bunch of crazy ones for this game. In the last 2 matchups, the Seahawks and Rams have scored I think like 58 and 57 points,
Mhm.
and then one team has 830 yards, the other has 829. If you go back the last 4 matchups, it's similarly just as close. They're 2-2 in their last 4 matchups. It's always been a tight series, but I don't think any of that matters here. I think what matters is the Seahawks are playing their best football of the last decade plus right now, not just this season. They have a coach that is ascending and showing everybody why he was the best hire of that offseason, and likely, I mean, he's already a Coach of the Year finalist. I think he, deserves to win it, but we'll see. And the Rams are just, they're not going to get the job done. And I think that, everyone wants this to be round 3, super close, exciting game. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to fuck them up, to be honest. I think we're going to win 30-17, and that's how I'm feeling about this.
I feel the opposite. I think we're going to win 23-22 with the game-winning failed 2-point conversion by the Rams.
Oh, my God. I hope you're wrong, because that is going to be so stressful.
Well, you heard it here first. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, as long as we get the win, I'm happy, but, good God. I remember watching the 49ers NFC Championship, just sitting there like this for 3 hours stressing out, and then I didn't feel relief until the Sherman tip interception.
Mm-hmm.
It is physically a lot as a fan to go through that. So I hope.
Well, don't you remember when I said that Game 5 of the ALDS was going to go to extra innings, and then it went to 15 innings?
I don't
against
remember
the Tigers.
That. I mean, I remember it going to extra innings. I don't remember you saying that, but
well, we have it on.
I'll take your word.
We
for
have it
it
on camera.
Yeah, we can look it up.
But yeah, so I think it's going to be another one of those. We have to earn it, and it's going to be brutal, and we're going to be sick by the end of it. But it'll be good because we're going to win.
Yeah, that's the only thing that matters.
Yes.
But I guess we want to talk about some of the other games from last weekend. I know we talked about them a little bit.
Let's get into the nitty-gritty. First game, Josh Allen and the Broncos.
I thought Josh Allen absolutely fucking blew it in this game, to be honest.
Yeah, and I don't think that the Brandon Cooks turnover catch was a catch. I think that was the right call to call an interception.
I honestly think they got both those calls right, and I wanted them both to go the other way. I just think you saw Devontae Adams establish possession and his knee hit down, whereas Cooks got the ball and kind of started to cradle it as he's falling, never really got control, and then they hit the ground.
And the ball's all of a sudden not in his arms anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't say that that's a catch when it all happens that quickly.
They look identical when you do frame by frame pauses and screenshots, but that's not how football fucking works.
Yeah, we can't personally freeze frame the plays in real time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the right call.
But I mean, I did think that the Bills were the better team in that game watching it. They blew a ton of opportunities, and I thought the worst executed thing all game long was when Josh Allen inexplicably decided to take off and run at the end of the first half, holding the ball like this, and then gets sacked, fumbles. Broncos get it and get a free 3 points in a game that ended up being won on a game-winning field goal in overtime. Just that's rough, man. I mean, Bills fans have been through the ringer for their whole existence.
Well, sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, and, they've had this quarterback that is hailed as this, all-time great, even though he's, never made it, even made it to a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And you got to wonder, they just fired their head coach. Their owner comes out and says something ridiculous about a player. How many more chances are you going to get at this thing with Josh Allen?
Also, this just makes me think, are all the owners in the NFL just, the most delusional, unrelatable egomaniacs like to ever live on the planet Earth.
Yes. People have this ridiculous notion that rich people equals smart people when, I mean, basically everything I've seen in my adult life says the opposite. It's the dumbest, most ego-driven people that end up in those situations.
Well, I just keep like every time an NFL owner gets a chance to be in the spotlight, it's always the most negative. Like,
well, you remember
PR
Dan
I've ever
Snyder
seen.
with the Commanders/Redskins,
Yeah.
like all the stuff that came out about him. Jerry Jones is like the biggest dumbass ever. And yeah, it's funny. I haven't thought about that too much, but typically when owners get in the spotlight, you're like, really? Like that's what you have to say about all this? That's why we're very fortunate as Seahawks fans that, you know, Paul Allen was a notoriously like calm, quiet guy. You didn't hear or see a whole lot from him. So he might have been crazy for all we knew, but I mean, we just never heard him speak, basically.
Yeah. I think that's what you need to do if you're an owner.
Yeah, and then now Jody, like, I don't even know what she looks like. Like, I could not pick her face out in a lineup. And as far as I can tell, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, look where we're at.
Yeah.
And how things are going for us.
But back to the game, the Broncos, kind of similarly to the Rams, were opportunistic, you know, did just enough to win the game and won on a game-winning field goal in overtime. However, they lost their quarterback, Bo Nix, for the season on the second-to-last play with a broken ankle. I still don't I haven't seen a replay that really shows me how that happened. So I can't really wrap my mind around what happened there, but it did happen, and he's on IR. And now Jarrett Stidham is going to be starting the AFC Championship, first playoff start in his career, and it's to go to the Super Bowl against the Patriots. Pretty wild stuff.
Yeah, I really... God, it would be just so bad for the NFL if they went to the Super Bowl with the backup. But I mean,
it would be.
I guess the Eagles did it a few years ago against New England with Nick Foles, so that's kind of what I was talking about earlier when I was like saying I feel like the NFL like weirdly resets every like 7 years because it's like you go through these runs that dynasties go on, and then it kind of ends, and then you're like, all right, what's the next new thing? And we thought it was the Eagles, but it might be us.
It could be. We're just at the start of this thing, man.
Yeah.
Just at the start of this thing.
Oh, wait. I got a good one for this.
Yeah, but so the Sunday games, who was the first game? We had,
Texans and Patriots.
That game, I unfortunately watched like all of it, and it was so boring. And
I stopped watching it because I was bored.
it was like the fucking turnover bowl. Every fucking drive was ended in a turnover or like touchdown via interception or fumble by CJ Stroud.
He has had one of the worst playoff runs I've ever seen.
He's had one of the biggest head-scratching, like,
Drop-offs.
downfalls in, like, sports, I feel like.
It's literally been ever since he went up to Caleb Williams after that first game they had against the Bears and was like, hey, bro, listen, you're going to be a great player in this league. And then he's like, interception.
Yeah, he, like, gave all of his talent to Caleb when he did that, and then... Yeah, he might not even be their quarterback in the next couple years if they...
We'll see, yeah. I mean, if he doesn't get his act back together, it's like, why would you keep him? And it's weird because, you know, his rookie year, he looked like the player I thought he was going to be coming into the NFL. And then now he's just bad, I guess, because the Texans' defense was like fucking fantastic this year, and to blow a defense that good with, I mean, you didn't even need a good quarterback play to win that game. You just needed to not turn the ball over 5 fucking times, which I feel like that's not asking that much.
Yeah, and once again, it's kind of funny that the Broncos and the Patriots are playing each other in the AFC Championship game because I just feel like those two teams haven't really been challenged all year. And
I agree.
now they have to, one of them has to lose. So
I feel like that's going to be a close game too. Like my prediction is the Patriots barely win, but then everyone's going to be like, even in the AFC Championship, you're playing a backup quarterback. Like,
yeah.
And they're not going to be wrong for it. So that's why I feel like the stakes are even higher for this game against the Rams than they would normally be for a conference championship, because the opponent doesn't look very good either way. Like, you have a backup quarterback, or you have the team that has scraped by all these ugly wins against bad teams all year and then plays a backup quarterback in the conference championship. So
yeah, I almost certainly think the Rams would beat whichever team.
mm-hmm. And I really don't want to see them get another Super Bowl.
Yeah, it would suck because them having another Super Bowl, like, that could be ours.
Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine how the Niners feel about our Super Bowl.
Yeah,
they're
they
probably
definitely
like,
would
that could be that should be ours, but it's not.
Yeah, this is where legacies are made. It's the Final Four of the NFL, and there's only one game left after Sunday. So
Well, and I kind of think the beauty of this season too has been, like, think about like the Mariners making the ALCS. Like, you don't really want to take that for granted, even though we didn't expect to make it that far, because you could just never go back.
mm-hmm.
Or like it could take, like, it's taken us almost 11 seasons to
Mhm.
get back to the NFC Championship game. So it's like, yeah, we're ahead of schedule, I guess, but we should seize the opportunity, and because I don't want to look back on this whole weekend, or, like, I guess this time period of football, and be like, damn, that could have been the start to something awesome.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, your success in one season does not, dictate how the next 3 or 5 are going to go. Like, we've seen, look at the Lions. They were just in the NFC Championship, just had like a 3-score lead in that game. Then you famously have Dan Campbell saying this may have been our only shot, and now they're not even making the playoffs and went one and done after getting the 1 seed last year. Like, things move really quick in this league. So as much as you want to say, yeah, we're a young team, we're just starting this thing off, like, no one expected us to be here, you got to take advantage of these opportunities.
Yeah, look at the
Bengals. You don't know when you're ever going to get another chance again.
they thought that they were the next new best thing. I mean, I thought that too.
Mhm.
And
I wish they were.
they haven't been to the playoffs since, well, the following year when they lost to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. That was the last year they made it, but that was 3 years ago.
And it's such a bummer, too, because the Bengals being good was so much more interesting than... I mean, look, we're right back where we are. Like, all 4 teams in the Final Four this weekend have been in a Super Bowl or a conference championship game in the last, 11 years. In a lot of these cases, multiple times. So it's like the cycle has shifted, as you said, from, like the Chiefs' dominance and Eagles and whatnot. And now we're like... On the AFC side in particular, you're literally back to the same 2 teams as 12 years ago. So, like, really, everyone else in the conference, you can't fucking get it together. But the Bengals, too, like, that's a fun team to watch. Like, Joe Burrow is one of the more entertaining quarterbacks to watch in the league, I think, just from his play style. And, yeah, I mean, who knows how much longer he's even going to play, if they're going to get to that point again.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope they figure it out. But final game, Chicago, LA.
It almost went just as you and I were predicting. Like, down to the wire, crazy comeback. All those things happened. And
the Hail Mary play at the end was insane.
After that happened, we were texting each other like, oh, the Bears are going to win this. Like, it's fate. They can't, they have a bug up their ass that just seems to not go out this year. And then DJ Moore just stops running on his route and gets intercepted by Cam Curl. Inexplicable. I don't know why he did that. And I'm also like, Caleb, why did you throw that ball? You needed like 11 more yards. And, you know, you had your tight end underneath. You could have gotten easy like 4 yards next play. I think it was first or second down. I can't believe it. It's been almost a week now. I still can't believe that play happened. And you knew they were going to lose once that play happened too.
Yeah, I think the Rams started with the ball, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
And they had to punt it away. And I think like you can't also punt. Like you can't give the ball back.
Yeah.
You have to win right then and there. Otherwise, you just can't give Matthew Stafford another opportunity. Otherwise, he's going to take it and you're going to lose.
Well, and the amount of times the Bears blew an opportunity to like take this game over was maddening because they were moving the ball between the 20s really well, but they kept going for these 4th and shorts and not getting it, and they kept being in these 3rd and short situations and just trying to run into a brick wall over and over again. For all his supposed offensive genius, Ben Johnson had the most vanilla game plan for short yardage I've ever seen. It was all inside runs. I don't know why they don't try to take advantage of Caleb's athleticism any more than they actually do, because whenever he took off and ran in this game, they couldn't catch him. He had huge plays on scrambles. So, like a bootleg, a play action, anything, just I don't understand the decisions they made. But even with all that, after that crazy 4th down Hail Mary to the back of the end zone.
It's freaking amazing.
Yeah, I mean, this reminded me so much of Wilson's 2-point conversion against the Packers.
Just like, do you think he was actually trying to hit that receiver?
Dude, well, whoever the fucking corner was defending Colson Loveland needs to be released.
I genuinely think Caleb just threw it as far as he could where he saw a guy, because he threw that nearly 50 yards off his back foot with like no
like 3 people.
Yeah,
in 10-degree weather.
I feel like
you have to have a cannon to do that.
Like Aaron Rodgers can do that. A handful of other guys I've ever seen can make that throw, but most NFL quarterbacks physically can't do that play there. That was incredible.
Yeah, you think Jared Goff can make that throw?
Dude, I don't even think he'd get the ball out of his hand in time. But alas, we almost got our prediction of Seahawks Bears NFC Championship right. I would have had a lot more fun with that.
We were 2 for 4.
Yeah, and well, frankly, I'm sick of talking about our divisional rivals. So I want to play some other fucking teams. This is annoying that here we are. This is basically the 4th time we've had to win our division in the last month. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's really annoying. I was also looking at, I saw this it was a graphic of the start of the season. It was during our first game because it was like a Fox graphic, and it was like the odds of winning the West. And we were like at 4% to start the year, and the Cardinals had the second highest odds with 48%. It's just like, who is the fucking idiot repeatedly picking the Cardinals to do anything? Like the way they ran the ownership, the whole equation is a failure, and it always has been.
They're the only franchise that you have an argument to say might be worse all time than the Browns, because they have never won anything in 100 years. The Browns at least won AFL championships in the 60s or whatever. Mm-hmm. The Cardinals are just a joke. I think they have 3 playoff wins this century, I want to say. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I guess that's all the games. We've already previewed the Rams game. What do you think is going to go down exactly in the AFC game?
I kind of predict more ugliness.
Yeah.
Similar. I think it's going to be a similar game as the Patriots had with the Texans, because that Broncos defense is good, and they led the league in sacks. Drake May has not had a great time avoiding pressure lately, so I could see it. I don't think that they're just going to blow out the Broncos because Jarrett Stidham is starting. But I do think that the Patriots will find a way to win because I think they're a slightly better team. I also just really want Sean Payton to lose. I hate that guy. I want it to be an all-Mike Super Bowl. McDonald and Vrabel versus an all-Sean Super Bowl. That would be – I'm not watching if it's Rams-Broncos. I have nothing to gain.
All-Sean Super Bowl. That would be terrible.
I have nothing to gain from watching that.
Yeah, I think the Patriots are going to win 10-9.
10-9?
Yep, it's going to be a really ugly game.
I'm going to say 17-13 Patriots.
I hate that fucking douchebag.
I think it's crazy that he was like
chill.
barely punished for the bounty gauge shit. Like,
Yeah,
that guy's a
and,
piece
like,
of shit.
why doesn't anyone talk about how much of a scumbag he is for that? Like,
just in general, like everything he says, like he went after a reporter last week for asking a question. Like, the guy's a piece of shit.
yeah, I hate him. I hate his guts. I don't even know him.
What about this guy?
Everyone will be bowing
Love him.
to Sam Darnold for all the rest of time.
Yeah, those AI videos of Sam Darnold are awesome.
I keep seeing comments that like Sam Darnold is the first black quarterback in the NFL and stuff, and I'm like, where's this coming from?
Yeah, in one of the videos, he says something like really inappropriate, like he like shouts it, and like the number one comment was, I just opened this in like a public area and had to turn my phone way down.
Yeah, we love Sam Darnold. He's got just a little more to go. Got to finish the job, but he's already moving himself into legend status for how the season has gone.
Yes. That's honestly all I got for the NFC Championship, AFC Championship preview.
I'm with you. I think we should promise all 62 of our subscribers that we will do an instant reaction video, even if it's us just on our phone celebrating or being very miserable.
Yeah.
This has been a fun season, one of my all-time favorite, regardless of how it ends. And yeah, we'll see you guys on Sunday for our instant reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God. All right. Well, go Hawks.
Yep, go Hawks, baby.